Okay, everybody. Here are two problems that are a little bit more difficult. I'm going to use number 13 and 14 and 15 from the 9.2 assignment. So if you want to write those three problems down now, try them. You can follow along and check your work with me. Or you can just watch the video and take notes. Again, remember, if you guys have questions, email me, all right? In this case, we're taking a binomial because it has two terms times a trinomial. Now what you need to do is there's still multiplication because it's a parenthesis here and another set here. We have to take everything from this binomial times everything in the trinomial. And what you're going to hear is a term called extensive distribution. Now this is what I was talking about, why FOIL wouldn't work for this, because you don't have just first, outside, inside, last. You have five terms total between the two things. So what we're going to do first is I just usually take the very first term, which is W, and I take it times everything. And then once I've done that, I'll cross it off. So first we're going to do W times W squared. Then we have W times 8W. Then we have W times 1. All right? Then we can cross this off. And then we can do the same with negative 3. So negative 3 times W squared, negative 3 times 8W, and then negative 3 times 1. Now I've distributed this to everything and the negative 3 to everything. So now we're just going to do the multiplication, and then we're going to simplify and combine like terms at the end. So W times W squared is W to the third, plus 8 times, remember there's a 1 here, which is 8, and then W to the first times W to the first is W to the second. 1 times W is just 1W or W. Negative 3 times W squared is negative 3W squared, or minus 3W squared. Negative 3 times positive 8W becomes minus 24W. And then negative 3 times positive 1 is minus 3. Now at this point, we're going to go back to adding and subtracting polynomials like we did in the first section. You're going to combine like terms. Always look for the term with the highest exponent. That's how we're going to write things first. So I see a 3. There's nothing that's more than 3, so we're going to start with W to the third. And I like to cross them off after I've combined them, so I know I don't have to worry about it anymore. Next is a 2. So we have 8W squared minus 3W squared, and that gives us plus 5W squared. Cross them out. Next is just W's, and we've got 1W minus 24W's, which would give us negative 23W's. Gone, gone, and all we're left with is minus 3. So this would be your simplified answer, and that's how we would write this, again, in descending order. 3, 2, 1, and then no variable. All right? So hopefully you got the right answer. If you didn't, check and see where your mistakes were, and keep working hard and keep trying. All right, let's look at number 14 now. While I erase this, you can go ahead and copy down number 14 if you're following along in your notebooks, and pause the video and give it a try. All right, so here's number 14. 2x plus 5 times, 2s plus 5 times s squared plus 3s minus 1. Okay, again, we have to take 2s times everything. So 2s times s squared plus 2s times 3s minus 2s times 1. That's the first part, okay? And because we're running out of room, I'm going to write the other one over here. 5 times s squared equals plus 5 times s squared. 5 times positive 3s plus 5 times 3s. And 5 times 1 plus 5 times negative 1 this time. All right, 2s times s squared equals 2s to the third plus 6s squared minus 2s plus 5s squared plus 15s minus 5. Again, we have to combine like terms. 2s to the third The third is still our highest term, so we'll just write 2s to the third, cross that off. Next, we've got 6s squared plus 5s squareds would give us 11s squareds. Negative 2s plus 15s would be plus 13s, and then bring down minus 5. Again, descending order, 3, 2, 1, and then no variable, and this is how you'd write your final answer. Okay, and the last one we're going to do will be number 15. Now, if you notice in number 15, it's a little bit different. That one only has a monomial times a trinomial, but in this case, the monomial has two variables. So in number 15, we've got, I'm going to rewrite it this way, because this is what I'm going to distribute. X squared minus 4xy plus y squared. Okay, so we're doing 5xy times x squared minus 5xy times 4xy plus 5xy times y squared. All right, now in this case, you apply the exponent rules. The x's combine with the x's. There's no y's, so our y is going to stay the same here. 5 would multiply with the 1 in front of here, so 5 times 1 would be 5. 2x is here, 1x here, means we have x to the third, and then y. Minus 5 times 4 is 20. X times x, x squared, y times y, y squared. That's done. This is done. And this one, 5 times the 1 in front of the y would be plus 5, x, y to the third. Okay, in this case, we don't have any terms that match exactly. This is x3, y to the 1. This is x1, y to the third. X squared, y squared. We can't combine any of these, so this would be your final answer. Okay? All right, keep trying on these problems, guys. And again, if you have questions, please email me. I think you guys are going to do pretty well at this stuff. Just take your time, keep your work neat and orderly, and do your best.